that's something that we also are exploring. Metaverse seems to be the new hot topic, the new sexy little technology that's coming in. But I think we also are a bit cautious. Just because everyone has a Metaverse store doesn't mean that telecom will go in, head in without proper studies and, proper planning. Yeah, I think some parts of it, like they have those augmented reality, right? And I think that's useful, if you're selling, products where it's you need some sort of demonstration, and that's something that the customers can do at the comfort of their home. So there are pros and cons in everything, in any channel, even retail, online. And I think Metaverse is also the same thing. It's just that you need to properly study and make sure that you've got the right solution or the right, design for your Metaverse before you put it out there for your customers.
I think that's a future that a lot of us still need to understand, especially in some companies like ours that are a bit more traditional in the products and the services that we offer. It is kind of at a defining stage of what that means. Of course, definitely it has been discussed, and I'm sure that it will evolve, as we go along, planning it and understanding what it means for us.
What I find really interesting about technology generally, whenever there's a new thing that comes, everyone jumps on it. 11 years back when I joined Google, about 10 years back actually, there was all about social media, about Facebook. No one knew what it is. Everyone would like to jump on it. So I think for me personally, and this I'm speaking on my behalf, I would like to first wait and see what does Metaverse mean for CX? What is the outcome that we are able to drive rather than, like you said, right, just becoming noisy and everyone jumping on the bandwagon?
That's certainly an area that is worth considering in the near future for us. But it's just that if we want to do it well, we just need to start it well as well. Yes, I think there's a lot of potential in that space, and also the changing consumer mindset and preferences. So that is certainly an area to consider.
We are looking at all kinds of channels and all kinds of platforms. Strategy has not been formulated around that as far as I know. It might be an interesting test bed for certain user groups. I think you need to look at the total population engaging there. And then you need to look at what type of segments are actually present there, and then whether that constitutes a segment for you that you want to attack. I think those are the questions. If you answer always in the positive, then I think you need to execute a strategy around that.
Yes, it is part of my plan. In fact, I am now working on a trial use case, which is to do with our loyalty program and how customers can have a better experience when it comes to managing their offers, their loyalty, taking up the offers, looking at their points and what's available to them in terms of the loyalty program, how they can look at upgrades and how we completely manage that loyalty experience in the Metaverse is one of the areas that I'm, one of my use cases. I think there are hardly any people in this space, and that's also a good thing because you get to trial out early and get into it early. There are the advantages of getting into something early as against also the advantages of doing it much later on when there are so many more platforms, tools available, and so many more have tried it and done it. But for Dialogue, our tagline is the future today. So whatever it is that we bring, we promise to bring it to our customers ahead of time. And as a result, of course, we like to look at implementing some of the futuristic technologies and practices available earlier on rather than much later on. Yes, because it's immersive, right? And so much more is possible. It's fun and immersive. So it's a total experience. It's a great experience. And I'm really excited to wait to see what use cases build on for in customer experience in the Metaverse.
So is the Metaverse part of Fujifilm Business Innovation Plan? I don't see us creating an island necessarily in the Metaverse yet, but what I would say is we are definitely piloting a lot of smart glass, a lot of VR type activity for some of our high-end digital production equipment. It's very complicated equipment. It requires a very high skill of operator. We're using smart glasses. We're able to help those operators using augmented reality solve problems such as maintenance issues or even conduct training for them remotely. So we've got pilots in 3 countries. We're also working on some initiatives out of our support centers around that. So So I do see that things like AR and such like will be a big part of our offering moving forward. I think that's a tough one for a B2B type organization. Fujifilm Business Innovation, I don't think is going to play necessarily in the metaverse as such. I'm sure we're going to use a lot of the technology and elements that would come out of that. And I think across, as we use those technologies, it's incumbent upon us to understand the customer experience. As we start to digitize the interactions customers have with us, those ways of dealing with us become commoditized. What that means then is when customers deal with the people in our business, that has to be highly engaging, highly powerful. So I think measuring across all of those mediums is important for us.
Not as yet. It's an interesting space for sure, the metaverse, but we're still kind of in the early days of trying to explore on how we can engage in that space. So for the moment, we're kind of more focused on digital adoption at the front end of the business, like I said, using Line and WhatsApp and Facebook. But eventually, as the whole technology space evolves, we are going to keep a lookout for it and be an early adopter if that's how customers really want to interact with us from a customer experience and an operations perspective. It could. I mean, it could. If customers feel their needs are met in a metaverse environment, absolutely. I think it puts a different layer of reality over the existing customer experience that you have today. So does it have potential in the future? Does it make it more customized? Is it more personalized? Absolutely. I think we just have to figure out and work on what it's really going to look like and what does it take for a company to host our environment in the metaverse, right? How do we maintain it? How do we maintain these bots? How do we maintain all the technology behind it? So I think we're just scratching the surface of it, but maybe 5 years or 10 years from now, we'll maybe all completely in the metaverse and our CX conference may be in the metaverse. Who knows, right? So it'll be interesting to see how the space evolves.